Welcome to the daybreak.
Bottom left of the map, the Slayers player, curly-haired Coca. He is down one game already against his opponent. There we have him. His ID is
Slayers, Coca.
definitely a little bit nervous here. He was already nervous before the first game. Now he finds himself at a disadvantage in the best of three. His opponent is starting to the top right. The Casper player. It is
Unjin Stars, Soulkey.
Coca with the Overlord on 10 supply, and then does an extractor trick afterwards.
yeah, a style that it's a matter of preference if you start the Overlord at 9, if you start it at 10. There is an advantage that you have when you start at 9, but in the end the advantage that you get is so small that basically players decide just whatever they feel more comfortable with.
Speaking of little advantages that are pretty small, the sock folding technique 2.0 is back.
Yep.
Now you can... I want to tell everyone about this tip because I don't think it's going to last very long, but for while it is out there, you don't want to have your opponents have an advantage over you.
It's basically come up yesterday. There were a lot of threads on Team Liquid, on Reddit about it, and it's actually pretty awesome.
Basically what you do is you shift-click the ground on move command with your worker right in front of the mineral patch, and then right-click on the mineral patch. What this does is it makes it so that your worker does not decelerate at all when he's mining, so he mines a little bit faster, and over time this really starts to add up.
It actually adds up by quite a lot, so I hope that Blizzard is not patching this out. This is actually one of the things that a lot of people complained when StarCraft 2 was introduced, that there are only very small things that you can do as a pro gamer that actually shows your skill and gives you an advantage over new players. So this is actually one of the things that you can do, and I really hope that they will stick with it.
You know, I don't really have an opinion on whether they patched that or not. I don't feel strongly either way. Like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, if they patch it out, that's fine, because that's one thing you can do to get ahead, but it's kind of monotonous, and I don't think it's exciting or anything like that. But on the other hand, I agree. It is one thing you can do to get ahead, and it differentiates the players, so I'm kind of on the fence about it. I felt the same way when the last technique was there.
The thing is, it just will increase your advantage if you have a great macro game and multitasking in the early game, because of course in the first 30 seconds to 1 minute, it's pretty easy to pull it off, because you just have so few things that you actually have to care about. Yeah. But if you continue this for a little bit longer, then it will give you a lead over your opponent. And if you can do it at the same time that you start your scout, at the same time you take your expansion, you have to deal with your probe, with your opponent harassing. And just in those downtimes, then it's actually something that I really like. So those would be pretty cool if Blizzard would give pro gamers the chance of kind of exploiting it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's something that I definitely want people to know about as soon as possible, regardless of what the outcome of it will be, because I think it's, you know, one way you can try to work on your multitasking. A little attack here by Coca with 2 links is going to force this drone to stop mining for a second. But speed is much faster for Soulkey again here. Coca does mine gas though, and he's actually over 100 right now because he's really microing on these links right now. He needs to go back home and start to use that gas.
He uses the minerals for drones now. He wants to get a little bit ahead in the drone con, and that's something that he's definitely going to achieve here. But of course, he's nice. He spots the Baneling Nest of Soulkey, and look at Soulkey. He gets immediately 10 Zerglings. He wants to be aggressive here. This is not a defensive Baneling Nest. This is him being aggressive, and Coca throws down speed and the Baneling Nest on his own. He wants to be defensive.
This time he doesn't have spines up though. He's going to have a short period of fear with the first wave of links coming through here. He will have speed in just a few in-game seconds, so Coca's going to have to protect his queen really well here. He wants to block the ramp as well if he can help it.
He's going to be fine. He can defend against the Zerglings with the links that he's building right now. This will just work out, but not... Yeah, well, if he does it like this, then it's going to be a problem. He can't move out.
The Queen's got to be careful. Yeah, you've got to make sure that Queen doesn't have surface area, and this is a big problem. Now he can actually fight on the ramp. The drones are going to have to be pulled.
He could have defended this so much easier.
Yeah.
There was no reason to run out with the Queen. Keep the Queen close to the hatch so that the Zerglings are immediately able to help, that the drones can be used as well, but not move out with the Queen.
You know what I feel is better? What he should have done very specifically is, because I think he was trying to get the Queen ready to block the ramp, make sure the Queen in the main is on the ramp first and then send it.
The Queen was already on the way past the ramp, so that's the one thing that really irritated me a little bit. But, well, in the end he loses the Queen, which is definitely not how you want to start things off, so I was proven wrong. Koka not safe here with the queen. He actually is a little bit overzealous with his first unit, loses it.
Yeah, since he made an extra queen, he's not losing too many injects, but that was a small victory for Sulky.
That's 150 minerals that you just don't want to lose in a mirror match.
And exactly, in a mirror match especially. The worker count is dead even right now. Sulky with a huge surplus in gas and a faster lair though.
That's the one thing that we've seen out of Sulky in the last few games. He's just a lot faster with his tech and gets gas very, very early in this matchup. Koka is now going for the triple gas, which will make sure that he has 4 gases. And this time, at least, he's not that far behind from his opponent. He's not trying to play a mineral-heavy play, but he is going for tech play instead. And I really like it. This time we are going to see, I think, more of normal Zerg versus Zerg.
Yeah, I think that you're exactly right with that. He's got to be careful with these Lings against the Banelings. Sulky just putting on endless pressure here, getting away every time. Infestation Pit goes down for him first, and the Roach Warren is slightly ahead for Koka, but that's not going to be significant on a map of this size. Infestation
Pit, of course, is going to be important here. We will probably see from both of them Infestation Pit in combination with the Roach Warren.
And his little scout there shut down. I do not believe he was actually able to see the Infestation Pit. No, he was not able to see that. That's pretty important, because now he doesn't really know that his infestors are behind. And, you know, as silly as it sounds, knowing that you're behind is actually important, because then you have to take the proper risks to get back ahead.
2 Banelings. Oh, nice. That was actually pretty cool. Yeah. Banelings to defend the natural at the 3rd base, that is. And Sulky realized a little bit late. He just sent the Zerglings over, didn't expect them to run into Banelings right away.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool for Koka. This is exactly what he needs here, getting a small lead. Even the Zerglings now dying. Well done.
Yeah. And the Overseer is going to see... did he see the Infestation Pit? He missed it again.
A lot of small mistakes here by Sulky, which gives Koka an advantage in the game. And Zerg versus Zerg, all these small advantages that you will gain in short moments, notice that it just accumulates and gives you a huge lead. If we just have a quick look at the supply here with 84 against 71, Koka is looking pretty good.
And he's going to face some more pressure at his 3rd base. He's got 2 Banelings, but more importantly, 2 Roaches there. So I don't think this pressure from Sulky is really going to do a lot, but he's actually going to see and catch Roaches instead on the attack for his 3rd base. Here he goes, and surrounding them. The Lings are trying to decide what they want to do here. He may actually force Sulky to cancel that hatchery. Sulky being really indecisive with his units right now. He's going to have to cancel this.
And this is really bad. Canceling the 3rd at this point when your opponent has his 3rd up already is horrible. I mean, at least he didn't lose it and cancel it, but still, this gives Koka a huge advantage. It's not only so much about... It's about production and about gas, not so much about the minerals. He will fall behind in gas, like, really fast.
Yeah, they're, like, crazily fast. He even had to use a fungal on those Lings to stop them from getting into his main. That's not, you know, it's not something that's majorly important, but that's one less fungal that he gets to use. +2 is on the way for Koka, slightly ahead, as he's now actually making an additional hatchery.
Koka must feel really confident now. He knows that he's far ahead of his opponent, that he's in a very good position. His +2 upgrade, as you already said, is looking really good here. He's getting the infestors. This is like exactly the position you want to be in. You know you are ahead. Nice Contaminate now in the main base to slow the production down a little bit. Not going to help Sulky too much, but has a nice touch to it.
Yeah, this is something I mentioned in our last best of 3. I think players need to do more and more often with their Overseers that they are not doing.
Idra did this ages ago.
Yeah.
It was one of the strategies that he really started to introduce into the game, but then it fell off a little bit.
And the Infestor lead here is kind of nullified now by the fact that Koka has his own Infestors out, and Sulky doesn't even have his Infestors with his army. That is one scared Baneling.
The Roach count for Koka is just better. He's getting more drones now. He already has a 10 Harvester lead. And this is... I don't know what Sulky can actually do at this point. If Koka trades here only just even, he will be far ahead.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to attack right now. It's just like Koka can do whatever he wants. As long as he doesn't make any major mistakes and, for example, allows this run by to do too much damage, he will be fine.
And it's a 4th base, so yeah, it's a cancel, but it's a 4th base, so it's like, well, now I'm still mining from a base that I had him faster than you. I did have to cancel this, but that's only a few resources lost for me.
It's a little bit unfortunate that we don't have a minerals and gas mine tab in StarCraft 2 right now. Something that Blizzard could definitely improve on. This is one of the things, I mean, if someone from Blizzard is currently listening, guys, this is something that would actually make it so much more interesting.
And this attack goes on right now at the base over here. His whole positioning as Lynx takes out several drones. Now, you and I talk about that all the time. The only way to do it really is to look at the spending time and see how much resources is spent. Because if you have more spent resources, it means you probably mine more resources. But yeah, actually, we talk about this all the time. And put that spending tab in Heart of the Swarm. Or not spending tab, total resources mine tab.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool. Because then we could actually show you how much more Koka has in minerals and gas that he could use over the course of the game.
Because, you know, with the spending tab and resources lost, it gives you a good idea, but it would be very clear. Hydralisk Den is behind for Sulky as well, which means that his opponent has range way faster than him, and he's going to have just the better Hydralisk count. In the first engagement that may be forced by one player or another, the Hydralisks are going to be oh so important to do the extra damage now that both players have Infestors.
And Koka really wants to play this super safe. He could have tried to hit a timing here with his tech and with his unit advantage that he had, but he just waits. He gets additional upgrades and wants to secure his 4th base. So a really, really passive game by Koka. Wants to play this super safe. You can actually see him at the bottom left in his booth, like how he leans forward and it was like really tensed up, where Sulky is completely leaned back and playing this, I don't know, a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, but he's gonna get a little bit tense when he sees these roaches run into his 3rd base. I don't think that's gonna be very relaxing.
No, because he's gonna lose it.
Yeah, and he's not forward enough to where he can attack, and he's not far enough back to where he can save the hatchery. He transfuses once, but it's not gonna be enough.
This is great for Koka. He's really happy to trade here, and he's actually borrowing a few of his units. Yes, he spots them, fungals them.
But that's another fungal energy used, and he wasn't even able to take them all out.
And he needs to use another one. Run by into the main base. All these small things that Koka is using right now in order to make sure that Sulky is falling farther behind, and Sulky is now 2 bases against 4.
He's got to make something happen here very soon if he wants to take this game. He's just kind of, to be honest, 1Aing his forces around to defend these different attacks, and he's just kind of fallen apart to them a little bit. He does keep his hatchery alive. As Koka did not realize the units were out of position, he could have probably killed it again. And actually, he does send more roaches in and kills it, forces the cancel there. So, I was wrong. He sent his forces away, knowing that he would get it no matter what.
Yeah, top right, we just saw the main base hit up, but now he tries to expand again, but there's still a burrowed roach. I really like it. So, Koka with some nice touches to this game, and as soon as Sulky runs out of money, I mean, his income is getting worse, so this will give Koka a huge bank. He's already far ahead of Sulky. He will be able to remax.
Yeah, and he's got the bank, so basically, Sulky may decide, all right, this is my one chance to win this game. I have to get on top of his hatchery so that while he's trying to remax, I kill the units as they spawn. This is his only chance here. He's making the hatchery in the middle. He still hasn't killed the burrowed roach, and he's got one to the bottom right. So all these risks that he's taking may pay off, but he's spotted in both accounts.
He has to double expand now because he knows he's so far behind right now. And of course, this is something that Koka spots. I mean, the guy's not stupid. He realizes with his roach forward at the 3rd that there has to be something else going on. He kills the expansion to the bottom right. It wasn't even cancelled. And now he still has roaches everywhere on this map. He has to be careful that he doesn't lose too many small forces, but his main army is in a great position. He is at 130 army supply against 140, but he has the superior lava count and also the income and the bank to just rebuild his army while he techs to Hive already.
He's got the better upgrades on his roaches as well. S2 is on the way, and wow.
The infested Terran fight. This is getting out of hand.
Koka actually has to pull his drones a little bit here. He's not going to be able to hold this base. Doesn't like there's way too many infested Terrans for Sulky.
He actually shouldn't fight. Sack the base, wait until the infested Terrans are gone, and then move in again.
They are on a timer, so he can do just that. He runs up into his ramp. Meanwhile, 2 roaches in the main base killed one structure, and I don't know what structure that was. It was the Hydralisk Den, it appears. Yep. And he's still fighting here. Infested Terrans go down. Koka trying to force his way through here. It's hard to tell exactly who will win this fight, but Koka still has the better bank. He's remaking units right now.
And he needs to because he is falling down in supply.
This is what I was talking about, man. If he actually fights here at this place where he can kill the spawning units.
Koka doesn't have lava.
Yeah, he's killing every unit that spawns. He's out of larva. He can't make any more. And Soulkey still can take this game. The problem for him, though, is a lot of his army is infested Terrans, and they're fading away.
Soulkey doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any money whatsoever. Koka still has a few units at the natural doing damage, and this is just really, really horrible. There are still roaches left, and they killed so many harvesters already. Of course, Soulkey has the army, and this is the one advantage that he has. He has 120 army supply against 80.
I think he might actually just do it, man. This is insane.
Koka did not bank up lava, and I don't know why.
And part of the other problem, too, is when you lose that fight away from your main, once the units march in, every unit that spawns dies. And then you have this snowball effect. He's got a few more units now. The Hydra's coming out, but without support, really. He's got to be so careful here.
Koka just has to build units. He lost his bases and it looks grim for now. But the thing is, he still has a huge bank, and Soulkey doesn't have mining.
Yeah,
so
he
at
doesn't
this
even
point,
remake a hatchery.
Koka just needs to spend his money, and he's doing it. He's now at 72 army supply against 82, so he's looking a lot better. But he should not be in this situation. This should never have happened.
Yeah, he should have banked up a lot more larva. Now he's actually going to trade a little bit inefficiently in the main base against these roaches. Got to be careful about that.
He's gonna kill these roaches, and that will further reduce the harvester, sorry, not the harvester, but the army supply of Soulkey, who's now down at 62. Koka is in the spot now where he can't allow the third base of Soulkey. Soulkey has a lot more harvesters than Koka has. Most of the drones for Koka are gone. Now he has the better army supply, and if he attacks and does damage, especially with the unit composition that he has, then he can pull this off. But the situation that he's in right now, this should have never happened.
Yeah, you're so right. Now, the bank, he's spent it. He has the third hatchery. That's the most important part. The burrowed roach that was blocking the third is starting to take some hits on these drones to the bottom right. This is something that Soulkey will have to deal with, and he does.
Koka just misjudged the situation a little bit. He knew that he was far ahead of his opponent, but he did not have the lava to immediately remax his army. So he underestimated the army supply of Soulkey, and when Soulkey moved in, he killed most of Koka's army, and therefore the Slayers player couldn't really come back into this game. Every single unit that they built was up against a huge amount of army supply. Koka now is about to stabilize things again, but he needs to make sure that he's taking down the army of Soulkey.
Yeah. He's got the better infestor count right now, better energy on a lot of his infestors as well, and this fight is one that Soulkey cannot afford to lose. He's been making only units right now. He has no intention of making another hatchery. Oh, this is such a tense situation for both these players.
The overall supply is a little bit misleading. We have 80 to 130, but most of the difference is actually in worker supply. The army supply is also a little bit better for Soulkey, but just the unit composition that Koka has is pretty strong. As Wolf just mentioned, he has a lot more infestors. Doesn't really match his opponent's roach count, but Koka still has a lot of units and a well-upgraded army too. So this is getting really scary. Soulkey, though, he brought himself back into the match, and as soon as he has a third base, if he's able to establish one, his superior harvester count will kick in.
I cannot believe he didn't chain fungal that group of units. He got such a huge group there, and he made a few more infestors in total. Now he is going to take the lead, but he doesn't have all of his infestors with his army. Nicely done by Koka, just leaving one infestor at that choke point. He can buy as much time as he needs there. Soulkey cannot break up through this.
I cannot believe that Soulkey didn't take down the roach that is burrowed at his third base. He has the WCS in the game. Oh, actually, sorry, he took it down. It's an overlord that we see on the minimap. My bad. Only saw the spot on the minimap, so now he is still long-distance mining, and he decides to spend all his minerals into units instead building another hatch.
Trying to take out that overlord.
But speed helps him.
Yeah. And a few more overlords being targeted here.
This long-distance mining is working pretty well for Soulkey. With all the harvesters that he has 45. He can long-distance mine with a decent income. He actually has exactly the same income, actually a little bit more than Koka, even though Koka has a base, just because Koka doesn't have the supply.
This is a mistake, though. He cannot attack up against this choke point.
Another fungal hits home.
He's going around the other side, though. He drops the infested Terrans first, which means he will fire first.
Oh, Koka needs to fall back.
He's going to kill the hatch, though. And this is important because, you know, as you said, he had about even mining, but he's no longer going to have even. He's going to be way ahead with the hatchery dead.
Koka has to attack now. There's no way. No way if he doesn't attack.
He's got to do it. He's got to use the fact that he didn't use those infested Terrans. He's got the energy. Soulkey setting up a concave here. This will be the deciding battle in this game.
If Soulkey just moves back and buys time, he will probably win, but Koka tries to make sure that there's a battle happening right now, and Soulkey moves back. He has all the time in the world. The more time that he has at this point, the better the situation for him will be. Of course, Koka has to fight right now. He knows it. He can long distance mine.
And he's taking out some of the drones at the base as well, where he's long distance mining from. This is going to start to add up as well, but you're right, he has to do this now. There's no backup plan. He's turning around. He's turning around.
Koka, you can't do this.
And he's losing his roaches that were attacking the drones, so now Soulkey is resuming full mining. And at this point, since he knows the hatchery is gone, he's even got an Overseer floating around to verify this. Since he knows that, he can bank up 300 minerals, use infestors to defend, and get a hatchery up if he wants to. This is a riskier choice than making pure units, but either way, he's ahead, and Koka needs to do something here. He needs to do it soon. His infestor count right now is way behind, 15 to 9.
Yeah, and Soulkey just gets more units. The infestors are not killed, he loses more roaches. Soulkey just turned the game around.
Yeah, Soulkey with the one attack that he needed to make, and it was a risk. He knew he probably wouldn't win it, and to be honest, Koka should have never gotten into this situation in the first place, but Soulkey really capitalized on things, took a risk, and I have to say his decision-making in this game has been excellent.
We talked about Koka being nervous going into this game, and he showed it. Unfortunately, the nerves, the problems that he had, he was far ahead of his opponent, but this is basically the story of Koka losing the match rather of Soulkey winning it. Even though the Casper player played really well here, he was so far behind that he would have not been able to take the game without help of his opponent. But still, I don't want to take anything away from Soulkey. He played a great match, and he identified the things that he needed to do in order to come back into this game, where he could force mistakes out of Koka, and he did it. He saw his chance, he took it, and Koka was not able to get back into the game.
Overseer sees the hack, by the way, of Koka that he's rebuilt, and this is going to trigger the attack very soon. He doesn't have to do it immediately because he's still going to have better mining regardless because of the worker count.
Soulkey has a 30 supply army lead at this point. Oh, but whoa! That was actually like, can he take them down? Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, wow! Is Koka really coming back into this? How many did he kill? 5? He just killed 4 or 5 of these infestors. I think actually he killed 5.
Yeah, he's still behind about 5 though, but that's, you know, small steps.
That was huge.
Exactly. And Soulkey actually used a ton of his energy to try to defend, and he didn't defend, so he wasted a lot of energy as well. He's got to do something about this hatchery fairly soon because Koka could start to sneak some drones out here.
That was really well done by Koka. This is an intense game now. And Soulkey knows that he, in general, is ahead, but he has to be careful. If something like this happens again and his infestor count drops down, then Koka might be able to turn things around again.
Soulkey is actively killing overlords with infestor energy, which is something I think is really cool. His queens are going to buy a lot of time to defend here with all the transfuse energy he has, but he's going to still need to send some units over there. And he's not doing it. He's actually going for the attack instead.
Yeah, I think he's going to attack now. Wow, the Roach is actually not attacking the drones. They're just standing there. They killed the queens, and now they are at the bottom right, at the third, and not attacking the long-distance mining drones, and this is something that Koka doesn't see.
A lot of Soulkey's infestors are out of position. He's going to use them, I guess, to supposedly catch run-bys, but...
And here we go.
Oh, here come the infestor Terrence. He drops the first again.
Oh, wow, the fungal here would have... Hey, that has the fungal. He has the fungal, and now these units are going to die. The second one doesn't hit, though. Nice bungling on the infested
fungal by Koka, yeah, on the infested Terrans, making it so they can't close the gap on his hatchery just yet.
Oh god. Army supply, 76 to 104.
But he's killed so many drones down at the bottom right. Soulkey is losing almost every single one of them. Yeah. Going down now to less drones than his opponent.
Koka identified that his problem at the bottom right was actually the roaches not attacking the drones, and he sends them in. Now the drones for Soulkey are gone. He's dropping in supply. He's down to 12 against 16. The roaches are still going strong, and this could, at this point, this could go either way. First of all, Soulkey having a huge advantage. He still has a slight advantage, but with a nice move that Koka made with the Sparrowed Infestors, taking down so many of Soulkey's Infestors and now killing the income of his opponent. He is back to business.
Yeah.
The army supply is still ahead for Soulkey with 20, but with good fungals.
The problem for him,
this is intense.
The problem for him is that he's just going to take so long to be able to remake a hatchery, and so neither player is going to feel comfortable attacking because their army supply is so similar. With the way that defensively fungals can work for you, makes it very. It's going to make both of them feel very reluctant to actually move in and go for a push. And they're both just kind of posturing right now. And it's going to become potentially a race of who gets the hatchery up first. And well, Soulkey is not going to be the winner of that with only 2 drones.
And now we have a situation, exactly, the 2 drones that you mentioned, 2 against 13, so can Koka long distance mine? The answer at this point is no. because we have the army ready for Solki at the eyes moving in from two sides. Koka can fungal here at the choke point. And this is the final battle, ladies and gentlemen. The army supply is still in favor of Solki by 20, and Koka is dropping its supply fast.
He's breaking through here. A lot of his units still alive, doing their damage. A few good fungals will take them out, but there's just too much for Solki. I think the supply now dead even. A lot of supply though in the drones. The Infested Terrans chase here. The Hydras do the extra damage, and Koka looks like he will finally die here. Solki will close this out.
There is nothing left that can do damage, only the Infestors, and they're not going to be enough. Even the Overseers here to prevent a burrow. And Koka dies with 0-2 to Solki, the Casper player, advancing today. Both of them, Rain and Solki, in the main base right now with 40 supply against 20. Koka basically stopped playing at this point in time. This is just... this is crazy. Koka was so far ahead. He had such a huge bank, better mining than Solki, but with a huge attack, a great play. The Casper player comes back into the game. Koka lacking the macro hatch and the lava. That cost him this game. And the best of 5 series, best of 3 series. Block.
Roaches on the retreat here. Koka is relying on these 5 roaches, 2 overseers, and his broodlings because he doesn't have enough money to make another drone. He has no drones on the map. 49 minerals.
12 infestors against 0.
Yeah. Well, Koka is going to micro his heart out here, and then he will be forced to GG.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Infested Terran's already killing his hatchery in the main.
There's nothing Koka can do at this point. Nothing. Nothing at all. There are 3 roaches left. That's all that he has. And I'm actually not kidding. I mean, you can see it at the top left, guys.
Yeah. And, you know, Solki and Koka both have like the same amount of actual units besides Infestors, but the Infestors will build energy. And so he's like saying, well, maybe if I can actually kill all of his roaches, maybe I can kill the Infestors. With all the Infested Terrans, this is going to take an insane amount of micro for him to actually try to pull this off. And Solki is still mining. That's another problem.
It's literally impossible. I mean, at this point, you can just wait for the energy for fungal and then just fungal them to death.
Yeah, if he can hit them, and he will. He actually has the fungal now. He can't close the distance quite yet, and there it is. This is going to close out the game. Nice try, Koka, but at the end, Solki wins 2-0.
Curly Head Koka is now on 0 army supply. Nothing.
He can't make a drone. He's got 0 supply in total, 49 minerals. His larva count is 33, but he won't be using any of that.
The only thing that Koka at 0 supply, he can move his Overseers and Overlords. That's all that he can do. He has nothing that can do damage. This game is over. He got GG. And Casper player